Welcome. I am Collins Trott, Child Development Faculty on the Wallace Community College Dothan campus. In this episode, we are going to be learning about working with families in particular circumstances. Every family situation is unique in its history, emotions, and demands. As such, there is no neat package of services or supports that meets the need of every family every time. Teachers find themselves working with families who have specific needs at particular times. One frequent occurrence in contemporary society is the dissolution of existing family structures by divorce. At this critical time, both children and parents need help in making the necessary emotional adjustments. Remarriage and the formation of step-families is another stressful period which sensitive classroom teachers can help. Families who are providing for the special learning needs of children with atypical development or chronic illness face a continual stress and emotional adjustment. Families who are adjusting to the demands of an infant and to leaving their ones in the care of others also have unique needs. Teachers must also be aware of their responsibilities to children and parents when abuse or neglect, substance abuse, or violence is a family pattern. And families created by adoption have their own unique concerns. This list is by no means complete. Distinctive issues are seen in families headed by adolescent parents, military families, and frequent moves and deployments, and in homeless families, to mention just other few circumstances in our world today. Teachers are in a position to support them all through their positive professional relationships. So join me, Miss Trott, as we learn all about working with families in particular circumstances. Divorce. The second most stressful experience for families after death is a critical experience for the entire family, affecting each member differently. To some degree, all family members experience stress from abandonment, trauma, rejection, loss of income, a lower standard of living, and change in many other areas of their lives. A family overwhelmed by its own turmoil is greatly helped by the understanding and support of teachers and others outside the family. A teacher can help a child within the classroom and provide information and supportive guidance to parents by maintaining a structured environment, encourage expression of feelings, encourage acceptance, and become aware of group reactions. As teachers become aware of parents' probable emotional reactions, they will be more able to understand some puzzling behaviors. When teachers are aware of parents' emotional state, they are less likely to become angry at parents' behavior and seeming indifferent to their children's problems. A teacher can help parents by reassuring parents, keeping requests light, being aware of legal agreements, and knowledge of available resources in the community. Working with children with disabilities presents new challenges and opportunities for all, and working with their families raises particular challenges to the teachers. Because it is now common for children with special needs to be included in most schools and classrooms, all teachers should be able to be prepared for working with this special group of families. Teachers and caregivers are important partners with families in the implementation of an individualized family service plan or individualized education plan. No parent is ever prepared for a child with special needs. There are no role models or guides to assist parents in modifying their child rearing practices to match their child's special needs. Parenting is a task that can make people feel shaky under best circumstances. Parents of children with disabilities often feel insecure in their positions. Parents of children with developmental changes undergo an adjustment process that is lifelong. Sometimes denial of their child's special needs may be shown by continuing to seek more optimistic professional opinions, projecting blame onto others, or attempting to hide the disability. When teachers increase their awareness of these particular emotional reactions and tasks, insensitive responses can be avoided. Teachers can work effectively with these families by treating parents as individuals, focusing on the present and future, clarifying information, be hopefully realistic, helping families let go, increase family involvement in the classroom, and know community resources. Also, support parental self-confidence. Another group of families with particular needs requires consideration consists of families of infants. There are often strained feelings between caregivers of babies and their parents. The process of attachment is not hindered when infants are placed in full-time child care. What parents and caregivers need to understand is that warm, attentive caregiving is necessary to support the development of attachment, and it is that caregiving should be the focus, not how much is supplied by whom. The emotional reactions and changes in life role are different but equally monumentous in adolescent mothers. Complexity of dealing with the added role of becoming a responsible parent when still reeling with the identity issues of adolescence. Recognizing the emotional responses and needs of new parents, caregivers can do several things to form effective partnerships with these parents, including supporting the attachment process, standardize informational procedures, remain objective, and introduce new parenting techniques. Child abuse occurs in every segment of society among families who look just like everyone else. It is therefore inevitable that classroom teachers will encounter abuse and neglect and their effects on the family. Teachers must understand the dynamics of abuse or violent families and the indicators that suggest a problem may exist, as well as the legal obligations and possibilities for helping a child and their family. Perhaps even more important, teachers must be aware of their own emotional responses to the idea of abuse so they will be able to act in a professional and helpful way with the children and families involved, rather than merely react with personal emotion. It is vital that educators perceive that they have several roles in relation to child abuse. These roles include the role of a primary prevention, as they model positive child guidance and ways to enhance positive self-esteem in children, and as they support parents by lending an empathetic ear and providing resources to develop positive parenting skills. Caregivers play a role in secondary prevention when they identify suspected child abuse and report it to appropriate child protection agencies for investigation. They also play a third role in child abuse prevention as they support children and parents when child abuse has been confirmed. When a teacher suspects abuse or neglect in a family situation, they must gather information, document evidence, report to proper agencies, examine personal attitudes, create an atmosphere of trust and healing, and refer families to support groups. Related to the topic of child abuse and neglect is the topic of substance abuse in the adults of a family. When parents abuse drugs and alcohol, their children are in an emotionally neglectful environment and are at risk for physical neglect and abuse. The reality is that child abuse and neglect, family violence, and substance abuse are problems many teachers will encounter. The best scenario is for teachers to be able to recognize signs of distress and problems, to know their legal and moral obligations and their community resources, and to support families through the agonizing process of evaluation and reconstruction. Building a caring relationship with families is the best gift a teacher can give to an abused child. Every family is unique in its situation, history, and structure. Adoptive families are diverse in many ways. Teachers and administrators need to support parents in the information they have given to their children and must be sensitive to information that individual families consider private. Teachers and administrators can support parents by knowing the facts, including adoption in the curriculum, talking to families, talking with the children, and offering resources. Now let's review what we've learned. Teachers often work with families whose circumstances require new sensitivities in understanding the dynamic and emotional responses of parents and children in each situation in order to provide understanding and support. These include families going through divorce or remarriage, where children and parents may need opportunities to express emotions and other helpful teacher responses. Families raising children with special needs who may have particular stresses and lifelong emotional adjustments. Families of infants, including adolescent mothers, who are learning new roles and adjusting to sharing the care of their infant. Families where abuse and neglect are issues. Here, teachers must know indicators and the laws and respond professionally. Families created by adoption, each of whom has individual needs depending on circumstances and ages of the children. Teachers must also incorporate classroom behaviors that can help children, as well as skills and knowledge to support parents with sensitive and professional responses. Teachers will be able to help the families who need them the most. That wraps us up for this episode. You can learn more about this topic by reviewing the resources posted in your course. As always, if you have any questions, please contact me or your instructor. Thanks for joining me Miss Trott, as we learn all about working with families in particular circumstances. See you next time.